And so that's when we started experimenting with dark stores.
What is a dark store?
Yeah, so you can think of it, so dark store is like a micro warehouse, or you can think of it like a supermarket, right? In the sense that you've got these aisles, but unlike a supermarket, it's tucked away in a back alley somewhere, so not in a front-facing road. And instead of having customers moving around those aisles, you've got pickers and packers that are zipping around, packing those.
How big is a typical dark store?
For 3,500 square foot. I mean, was it 3,000 square foot?
3,000.
Carpet. So we started experimenting with that, right? Not only did it help us deliver faster, assortment was meaningfully better, quality was meaningfully better, speed was, or at least have like a better handle on pricing than we initially did.
So how did you go from delivering groceries on WhatsApp?
Yeah.
Did you guys start a company? Where did the money to start a dark store come from?
Yeah, no, sure. So, and when we started getting like very early traction, we applied to this thing, and we actually met with who was the first investor in the company. We applied to this thing called a Contrary Capital with a fellowship. And it was a crazy idea for two kids sitting in Bombay. They basically said, we'll give you 40 lakhs for free and like no questions asked, just take 40 lakhs if you're building something interesting.
It's basically, so in COVID, a whole bunch of people were taking gap years, start up or whatever. And so these guys said, we'll pick 5 teams that are working on something that have taken time off of school. So at that point, we're like a student-focused VC fund. So I said, we'll give $50,000 to 5 teams that are working on something in a gap year.
Is this still open? Can people apply?
I don't know if the fellowship is open, but the fund is there.
The fund is there, yeah.
What is it called?
Contrary Capital.
Yeah.
Okay.
In fact, so the guy that had invested, he was in India last weekend for the first time.
Yeah.
So the first time meeting him in person since he put in that.
And does he still have equity in the business?
Yeah, he's a meaningful equity. So he gave us basically 50K USD at a $2.5 million valuation. 2%. And we were like, wow, that's a bit, like we were just like, that's crazy. We were like, we thought we were just like pulling a fast one of these guys. Yeah, I mean, it was like, we were like 2 kids sitting in a living room on a WhatsApp group chat. And someone's like, okay, this is $2.5 million. And I was like, okay, great.
And what did you do with the 40 lakhs?
So we started, and I think like initially really, we didn't have much of a plan. It was just like our day-to-day was basically that 50K. Like in the early days, when you get like a pre-seed capital, I'm sure you know this, right? Most of it is just to like live. So we barely spent it.
How did it start scaling? You had a WhatsApp group, Share Punjab?
It was pretty fun. So I think this investment happened in like August or September 2020.
Yeah.
And October, November, December. So typically with marketplace businesses, you have a chicken and egg problem, right? For example, a food delivery business, either you have restaurants, without restaurants it's hard to get customers, and without customers it's hard to get restaurants. So it's like a chicken and egg problem. And so we had that same thing. And so we were like, okay, fine, which side do we solve first? We said, let's solve the supply side. And so every day for those 3 months, we would just go to a different neighborhood in Bombay. Like one day it'd be Parel or Powai or Borivali or Kulaba. We just walk into as many of these Kirana stores and try to convince them to join as a seller. Over those 3 months, we went to every single neighborhood. We'd walk into stores all day, like morning to evening, and just do that. So neither of us had any sort of background in sales, but like trying to sell software to like a Banaya is probably the best crash course in sales that anyone has got. Because 10 out of 10 of them, 8 will tell you to like, I don't know if I took basically. And,
Ask for forgiveness.
And 2 of them will say, okay, fine, I'll download your app. And by the time you walk out, 1 of those 2 will delete it.
They'll delete it, yeah.
Right, and they would give us feedback though on like what they need to improve.
Would their margins go down versus selling in store?
Yeah, they did.
Slightly, like 2-3%.
And how much would you charge?
I mean, at that point, we were
like
charging
2-3% commission. We just want to cover the payment gateway.
Right.
We were trying to figure out like different types of product market fit in like commerce and retail, right? So the first core product market fit for any business is customer product market fit, and then you get the economics product market fit. So we were just solving for number 1.
In 2020, how much did you sell?
We hadn't launched the customer side yet.